guys, it's Dr. Brian here. What I want to do with you is go through your basic nutritional assessment. We want you to live a long, healthy life. Obviously, that means getting adjusted regularly. That means, avoiding toxins. That means limiting stress. A big part of it is going to be putting the right foods in your mouth. So this assessment is a tool for us to see where you're at, to see what you need to do to make the changes so that you can live ideally to 100, 120 years in style, happy, functional, on the beach, on the cruise ship, not in a nursing home, well, not sick and suffering. So there's 30 questions. We're going to go through all of them. I'm going to give you a little bit of the why behind it, and then you'll see at the end on the third page there's a scoring section where you get the different ratings, and it kind of gives you some action steps. So first question, do you eat out more than 3 times per week? What that's talking about is if you don't have time to make dinner, oftentimes if you're getting food from different restaurants, a lot of times they don't use the proper oils. Oftentimes they may not source the healthiest meats. So if you're eating out more than 3 times per week, that would be a check there, and that's going to be troublesome for your long-term health and vitality. Do you eat boxed foods more than twice per week? That would be processed packaged foods. As you know, something with a preservative in it, it is going to not only preserve the food, but it's going to preserve your body. It's going to affect your healthy bacteria in your gut. It's going to damage and destroy those. If something can sit on the shelf for 2 to 3 years, odds are it's not going to be that healthy once you do finally consume it. So avoiding boxed packaged foods, going with raw foods, live foods, making those small shifts. If you're drinking soda, you can't drink soda, basically. Soda is just sugar water, and it's terrible for your body, and it causes all kinds of bone. Not only that, but some of the things in diet soda cause things like MS. There's different, studies, videos I can show you on this kind of thing. So yeah, that's a real simple one to get rid of. Do you eat less than 5 servings of vegetables per day? Realize that serving wise, some people say it's the size of your hand. It's actually smaller than that. Eating 5 servings of vegetables, most people, even like a tomato, like a real size tomato, not like a cherry tomato, is 2 servings of vegetables. So you should be eating 5 servings of vegetables per day. If you can't, if you're not, start with a veggie smoothie or a veggie blend in the morning. Just do something like a salad at lunch. Start switching those out, even if you're eating something like, I don't even know what the worst thing on earth would be, maybe McDonald's or like a microwave dinner. Just start adding in 1 vegetable with that. Start doing lateral shifts. I mean, it doesn't have to be too complicated. You can just really make it happen. Do you drink less than 4 glasses of water per day? You're supposed to be drinking half your body weight in ounces. So I weigh about 200 pounds on a good day. I should be drinking about 100 ounces of water. The best way to get a jump start on it is first thing in the morning. Get up and start chugging water. Throughout the day, drink water, squeeze some lemon in there. Helps your body to kind of clear out things and detoxify. Do you feel addicted to certain foods is the next question. Typically that would be things with caffeine, with sugars, with chocolate, with alcohol. Those are the addiction foods. Usually they're not eating them or drinking them because you need them. Usually it's kind of an emotional thing. It could be multi-leveled. So if you have that checkbox, that's something we need to talk about. Next one, do you typically opt for lower fat, lower calorie foods when given the choice? As you know, all the low fat foods, they replace the real foods. So now instead of having, butter, we have low fat butter, which means they're replacing some of the healthy fats with basically sugars. Instead of having full fat, I don't know if you eat cottage cheese, I guess it's dairy, I'm not a big fan of it, but they have low fat cottage cheese now, low fat yogurt, all these things, and they're usually they're less healthy for you than the full fat versions of them. So stick with what your grandparents ate. If your grandparents didn't recognize it as a food, you shouldn't be eating it. That's how simple it can be. Next one, do you eat white flour, white rice, white bread? Basically in those ones, they've been processed to the point where almost all the nutrients and all the fiber is out of them. So those white foods, the white bread, white rice, and white flour will stick to the inside of your intestines, kind of like paper mache. They say the average person who eats those has anywhere from 10 to 22 pounds of that stuff caked in their intestines. So when people talk to me about digestive health or about ulcerative colitis, that's usually one of the things that we first start changing. Next thing, do you use artificial sweeteners like aspartame, Splenda, NutraSweet? Those, again, have been shown to cause things like MS, to cause brain funk. They are neurotoxins. They were developed for, actually for chemical warfare. Look into those. If you don't believe me, read about it. Go online, go to Mercola.com and read some of the stuff. But yeah, those, get rid of them. If you're going to do a sweetener, I recommend the natural ones. Go with nature. God knew what they were doing. What he was doing. Honey, maple syrup. People say stevia. It's decent. Xylitol. Some people say that, but I'm a little bit hesitant on that one. So go with the natural options there. Agave is pretty good. Do you eat fried foods more than once per week? The only way you can eat fried foods is if you're frying it in extra virgin coconut oil, and I still don't recommend too much frying. Do you eat processed deli meat, bacon, or sausage, or hot dogs? As you know, those ones full of either nitrates or nitrites. They've been shown to cause all kinds of different kinds of cancers. They're linked in that. If you're eating processed meats, your odds are not good for long-term health. So start getting rid of those, replacing them with some real stuff. Some, actually venison, some, healthy raised chickens. Go in some healthy direction there. Do you feel you get all the needed nutrients from food and therefore pass on supplements, including multivitamins and fish oil? With our soils in the U.S., we have farmed them and damaged the topsoil and all the good nutrients in the soils. So it's crucial for most people to take a multivitamin. Fish oil, our culture has a lack of vitamin and omega-3s, so fish oil is typically essential. Next one, do you use canola oil or vegetable oils in cooking or in salad dressings? What they're going to say is most canola oil and vegetable oil is actually rancid at room temperature, so those are not going to be good. If you're going to use things for salad dressing, extra virgin olive oil is terrific. Cut up some fresh garlic, squeeze some lemon juice in there, maybe some balsamic or even some Bragg's apple cider vinegar in there. Wonderful salad dressing, that would be. Next one, do you use margarine? You got to get rid of margarine. Margarine looks like plastic, tastes like plastic. It's basically plastic in your arteries. When people tell me about cholesterol problems, heart disease, high blood pressure, that's one of the first things you've got to get rid of is the margarine. Kind of talking, that goes hand in hand with the vegetable oils above there, both of which, when you heat them, they just turn into this deadly funk that goes into your arteries. Next one, are most of the fruits and vegetables you eat conventionally grown, non-organic? For that question, I usually default to the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. You can search those online. Those tell you which are the cleanest 15 fruits and vegetables, which are the dirtiest 12 fruits and vegetables. The dirty ones you have to buy organic. Do your best here. This isn't, if you're going to do priority-wise, your first priority would be organic or local or healthy meat. Secondly would be the organic fruits and veggies. Going to the second page, do you consume milk and dairy products at the grocery store? I think they mean from the grocery store, but either way, if you're consuming them at or from the grocery store, typically that means that they are going to be highly processed, homogenized, pasteurized milk from cows that did not go outside, did not eat grass, were stuck in a highly concentrated farm. I'm very opposed to this, you might know. I am a huge supporter, if you're going to do any kind of dairy, of raw dairy or of local goat milk or goat product dairy. That's the only way to go. If you're drinking lots of milk, eating lots of cheese, and it's coming from God knows where, that's not working out well for most people. Are the majority of your animal products from the meat counter or freezer at the grocery store, as opposed to a health food store or local farmer? If you can find a local farmer, well, if you can't find a local farmer, let me know. We have resource lists. We have tons of them. Support your local farmers, not only for the carbon footprint, healthier animals, healthier communities. Local farming is something that can really sustainably change the face of our, not only healthcare, but our nation, and it's huge. It's hand in hand with chiropractic. It's what's poised to change the whole future of what our country is going towards, so it's going to happen. Do you consider price and convenience of food to be more important than nutritional quality? That's an American problem right there. Most people don't care. Even in the production of food, nobody asks, well, how's it going to taste? How healthy is it going to be? They typically ask, how can we make it bigger, faster, cheaper? Same thing with people, how can we get the fastest food possible? That's not working out health-wise. If you look at studies, as countries reduce their spending on healthy foods and on how they actually increase it in terms of on medications. If you compare like the US to France, it's insane the amount we spend on healthcare, or not just France, but any other nation that's, quote, civilized. Do you eat sweets or candy more than once per week? I'm a chocolate fan myself, so I checked that one. Do your best to eliminate those, to replace them with healthier options. Chocolate-wise, I recommend a 72%, something with a higher percent of the cocoa bean there. Do you drink more than 10 ounces of alcohol 3 times per week? That's a lot, so if that's an issue, something you should look into. Try to replace it with a healthier option. Some people are doing things like herbal tea. I love peppermint tea. I think you still feel great drinking something warm. You feel like you're getting changed. Do you eat while rushed or under stress? That's a tough one for most people. The best option there, making sure at least 2 meals per day you sit down and breathe. Say thank you, say your grace, say gratitude before your meal. Eat and kind of feel nourished. Breathe. Realize that your health and your vitality is crucial. You're not going to be able to do all of your mission on earth. You're not going to be able to do all those important things that you're stressed about if you're not healthy. If you get sick, you fall behind in everything. So taking time to breathe and de-stress is crucial. Do you, your doctor, or your family feel you should lose some body fat? That's a lot of people in the U.S. So if that's your challenge, use this video, use our nutrition book, start putting those into play, use our recipes, use our shopping guides. This is exactly what we're here for. Do you have irregular blood sugar, diabetes, or pre-diabetes? My family, my grandmother had type 2 diabetes at the age of 40. I never saw her healthy and active and alive like she should have been. If you have any of those, we're very fortunate to have helped people reverse all of those naturally with the right lifestyle, and taking this quiz is going to be part of that. So start putting this stuff into play. Do you have blood pressure over 115 over 75? If you're suffering from high blood pressure, this is the exact right path for you. Is changing your nutrition, getting your upper neck especially and the rest of your spine adjusted regularly, doing your tractioning, your head weighting, changing your neurology, changing your lifestyle, reducing stress. All the stuff that we're teaching you here is the answer for that. It's not a bunch of chemicals from some lab. It's not going to fix it long term. Do you suffer from sinus issues, asthma, or allergies, including rashes, eczema, and hives? Most people don't see the link on how foods can actually affect their stomach, can cause things like leaky gut, can actually cause in the lymphatic system to be backed up, causing skin issues. So these are all things that are linked to oftentimes too much dairy, too many processed foods, too many allergic foods like peanuts. If these may sound like even people like gluten in bread, sometimes people have to eliminate that as well. I would definitely minimize it.